to this. How many of your brethren are lazy and don't get up in the morning to work? How many of your brethren can't even wash their own clothes?
How many are disabled?
How many are disabled here? Correct.
They got a right to speak.
Right. The point I'm making is you as a veteran, thank you for your service. Now, backing up here, this body should enable something for the veterans to have that say. Because I've worked on 7 different reservations, and their veteran programs, awesome. And us, as we're gaining ground, veterans are finally getting to come together. Back in '94, I tried to bring the veterans together. It didn't happen, only because the majority of the veterans didn't like politicians. Am I right? Because everything's wishy-washy. As a vet, you stand behind your decision, whether it's good or bad. But you're also taught to weigh the options. What's in the best interest? Not only as you, because you sacrificed yourself, but for your brethren that you're trying to help protect. So, at this time, gentlemen, brother elected, I respectfully request you to hear the veterans as to what they have to say, but I'd like to close with this. My recommendation, Chairman, I support you in your decision. I don't want to play this game of being wishy-washy. That's the game of politics. But at this point, if we make a decision, like I said, I stand behind it. But if we choose to step in and then step out, then, it's a learning process. Who all knows about the resolution up on the hill where the new housing development was started with Good Earth Lodge? Anybody in here? That whole tract is almost 100 acres designated for the veterans.
How much was taken from it, from the houses?
I would say about 40 acres. Prime example. Prime example. Prime example. So that being said, you spoke up. The elected had heard you, and I love it. I love it because so far we say, oh, we can't hang this flag, we can't hang that flag. But you as veterans, you fought for all states, including Montana. So it's called the United States. But if you want to backtrack that and play, no, I just fight for crows. Well, right now we're subject to federal supremacy. And that's our job here to try to be sovereign and self-sustaining. But we're so busy in-house fighting that changeover, no continuity. We elect people that, again, can politic, silver tongue, no follow through. That's the nature of the beast in politics. But at the end of the day, if I'm forcing religion down your throat, how productive is that for me to be out at the state national level to promulgate or help make rules to protect our reservation? Because every day there's a parcel of land going into fee patent, meaning piece by piece the reservation is taken away. Sure, we made a couple good buys. Land buyback was good, but the land buyback was Indian land, which was already in trust. So how much more did we gain? Tried to gain land, but it still was the same. Like I was saying, it was trust. So at the end of the day, understanding the ranking system, when your chief in command, Chairman Oakheil, makes a decision, I support that. I may not agree, but I support that. So I'll open the floor to the vets. We'll limit 2 minutes per. I appreciate your time.
What about everybody else? It shouldn't just be the vets that get to talk.
At this point, it is the vets.
Why? What happened to freedom of speech?
You can.
What happened to freedom of speech? Why are you just speaking
We
for them
can.
and not we the people? You just got been saying that.
First of all, I'm working with the vets, and then we'll open it to the public. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, public will have a few minutes.
looks like a machine gun, I guess I can say something. My name is Butch Gardner. I'm a Vietnam veteran. As you can see, I'm disabled, 100%. By United States Army, United States. That's who I work for. I got hurt. And I got hurt and everything was today, when I see that Veterans Park, I'm really glad to see it. I'm always proud of it. Even some of the people off the reservation that come over, I show them the Veterans Park. I said, this is our park. I like that park, the way it is. The flag, for example, Israel. It's not from here. I didn't fight for Israel. I didn't know who Israel was until I came over. Until a little later on, they had all that fighting going on right now. That's the only time I found out. So what happened to me, it didn't happen to you, it happened to me. Because I was out there on my country, the United States. I enlisted when I left. So I was out there. While I was out there, I thought about home here, how everybody was doing. I'm a Native American churchman too. When I was way out there in the middle of nowhere, early in the morning sometimes, I wake up, look around. I wonder who's praying this morning. I wonder if they're praying for me. I look around. I don't see nobody. Sometimes I'm all by myself. Or I still think about home. I like the park. I want to keep it the way it is. Veterans Park. I don't want no interference. I don't like interference. Just like you. You got a piece of land, you want to lease it. You want to try to lease it to somebody, and then there's interference, you don't like it. That's the same thing that is. That's my land. I fought for it. I don't want no interference. If that flag needs to be moved, I would appreciate it. I'm not against these guys. I'm not against nobody. I just don't like that flag over it. I didn't fight for it. I didn't get hurt for it. He's not paying me. I'm not 100% disabled of that flag. I'm 100% disabled of the United States and the Crow tribe. These are my people, the Crow tribe is my people. At the time I was out there, I even fought for it, thinking about it. Sometimes I was that close to death, but I still felt about home. Sometimes it scares me, you know. It scares the hell out of me. It's not fun out there. But I'm not to be home the way I am. Be with my people, be with my relationships. But while I was away on my own carrying some of my relationships, left, they were home. Most of them. Just a few of them. I'm glad to be home. The other one, like you guys, everybody, you know. One of my people. I love you guys. Maybe you pray for me. Maybe you cussed me out. I don't know. Either way. But I love my Veterans Park. I want to leave it the way it is. No interference. Then well, I appreciate that. And remove it peacefully, you know. We'll put it somewhere. flag up. Everybody's got land. Take it to your land and put it up there on your land. If I want that flag, put it up. I take it to my land and I put it up there outside my door. So, that's what I gotta say.
Go home. Thank you for your service. We also served Carson was here. Speaker Okro, you want to say something as a veteran?
Holy AJ. Yeah. There's always misinterpretation. Everybody sees it differently. Look, pastors, that's why there's different denominations. There was a misunderstanding and misinterpretation. The flag, Kinesh, you is as a veteran. Eric could take as a committee. And the committee Gedish, who come behind who during the problem. As a committee, we're out of the way. We're not in your way now. Now you'll have that right to come up and speak, Robert. Oh God, that was the whole purpose of that. But anyway,
Now, why are we freezing our breath? They're not listening to us.
they're recording on those tapes. Hey, what's up, son? That way, everybody gets a chance to talk. Because in committee, we use that Robert's Rules of Order. And that way, it gives everybody an opportunity. But like I said, I think there was all a misunderstanding and a misinterpretation. That was the whole point of what happened. Was that misinterpretation on everybody's part. But like the chairman said, we can always compromise, we can come to an agreement. And go Shiwanga, I think.
Pretty on top.
Thank you, AJ, and members of the legislature and executive. You all know me, John pretty young job. I served for 4 years under that Marine Corps flag. I was fortunate, I was never in any wars. I went in there during Vietnam and World War Korean conflict. It was during peacetime. But I did enlist and I went and I put in my time for my country, my people. Members of my family, elders, cousins, uncles, in the past 10 years I've had some new nieces that have served in the United States Armed Services. Putting them all together, I think my family has served over 100 years in the United States Army. I had one Clipper Fighting Army for 30 years in the United States Navy. I was proud when my little nephew, Carl Van, proposed and worked diligently to build at Veterans Park. My name is listed in that wall, along with all these relatives that I mentioned. I think that the Crow tribe has participated and has put in a lot of time into World War I, II, III, IV, whatever. They were in battle. Some have been maimed, wounded, hurt. But I want you to know we didn't get very much compensation. Today, You have to go to Denver, Salt Lake, for any serious medical condition that you might have received from those wars in your time in services. A lot of the pension that you get is very minimal. Very few get 100%. My brother Gardner here is very fortunate he's done that. If you all remember Emmett Ogle, he contacted Agent Orange. We worked hard to get him to 100% disability. They simply refused it. We battled. We went to the VA, we went to every kind of office that would give him that 100% because he was hurt and he was dying. 6 months after he died, before he died, he was given 100%, so he got to enjoy it for 6 months and then he died. I cannot believe today that veterans are some of the lowest paid people. You take a football player, salaries in the millions. If he gets hurt, he goes to the best hospitals, the best medical facilities he got. But a veteran has been shot up, wounded, and maimed, has to go clear to Denver or somewhere to come out of state. I went to visit some veterans in the Denver Memorial Veterans Hospital. They didn't have rooms, they had barracks. Single beds, all in a row on both sides. They lived in barracks before they got injured, before they got. But that's all they provided was barracks. I felt pretty bad about that. Today that plague there, those people in Israel probably suffered under it too. I think Christianity started in Israel. We talk religion. In 1987, I was invited to Assisi, Rome. There was a big gathering of religious people. A World Day Affair for Peace. I was the one that was invited. There's others that take credit for it. I was the man. As I sat on that stage, all of the Christian religious leaders were there to the right of Pope John Paul. To his left, the traditional religious leaders. Each of us got a chance to get up and say a prayer. I sat there and watched every individual get up and say their prayers. It wasn't in English, it wasn't in Islam, or Crow that I could understand. It was in their own language. And that day I realized that there was only one supreme God. The only difference in religion is the language. Each of those people, when they got up and prayed, before the prayer was over, they looked up and raised their hands. They didn't say God, they said in their words, in their language, but they settled up and listened. For a long time, and it still exists, I'm a traditional religious leader. I still feel jealousy in other religions when I get up. One time I was asked to pray at a council or a conference. I asked if I could pray in my language. An old teacher of mine got up after I got done praying, and he said, John, pretty on top, you were in my English class in the second grade. I taught you English, so I gave you pray in English. I says, I had my language. I had my way of expressing myself in that creed. As I said, I guess Christianity, history that I've read, started in Israel. I just want to ask, who hung Jesus to the cross? Who hung him to the cross and jabbed him with spears until he died? He had a good father when he brought him back to life and took him dead. It was those people. These are the people that burned the American flag and their rights. I've traveled all over Europe. Had an opportunity to work with you. I witnessed the riot there. They burnt the American flag and anything that represented the United States. Even Coke bottles they took up and slammed them against the walls. I've been to the United Nations in Switzerland. I had a chance to attend one of the conferences. If there was any Israel, people from Israel that were there to support Native Americans, it was just a few. And I didn't hear anything about Native Americans. Just lately here, there has been some militants gone over there. But that park there, as we speak, was designated to us veterans. And I put it in the time. Our man's vision was that we would be recognized as veterans of the United States Armed Forces and Veterans of the Crow Tribe. He too was a veteran. That was his vision. Now, we want to show respect to Israel as a body, as a tribe. That flag should be right there under the flag outside the tribal administration. And we're all there. But leave this us minorities and pro-reservation adopting our minorities. I think one thing I'd like to clarify is when the law was being promulgated, it consists of chairman and legislative branch, as well as, I believe, Sean, vice secretary. Vice secretary was charged to deliver the resolution to the Israeli embassy in D.C. As I read the language in the law, I did not attend the committee meetings. The committee meetings were when I was elsewhere, but understanding that we had a representative, meaning vice secretary as a veteran, during this whole time of promulgating and working on it. They were the ones who went to DC and also delivered. In there it says that the secretary will do those duties, but being that Sean was appointed by the chairman to do it, I had no problem with it. Therefore, when they come back and then things started to develop, the chairman had appointed the vice secretary, and then the vice secretary enabled the pastoral along with Janice. So anytime nobody wants to take ownership of it, I'll take ownership of it. But the point being is, again, if you're not attending the meetings, if you're not there when the legislature is promulgating rules, things like this happen every day. And if I had say in it, like I said, I would have had the veterans come together and also comment on it, only because, like I said, when you develop, all interested parties have to come to play. So at the end of the day, when you have something that doesn't sit right with the vets, you know, I put full faith in Vice Secretary to make that call because he's a veteran. And so at the end of the day, when it was constructed, I don't have anyone to blame.
because it comes from the Secretary's office. So that's my take. I take ownership, whether it's good or bad, I take ownership. And at the end of the day, I don't want the Crows to be divided. Yet, I understand there was a process where individuals or groups were stepped over, but that's not your fault. That's where we come in. So my advice to the elected is an apology to the veterans, but at the same time, you can't blame us because us veterans, myself and Sean, represented you. So if you should be mad at anybody, blame me, blame my vice secretary. Yellow Mill, and then can I let Vice Secretary speak for you?
Thank you, Secretary. Good morning. It's a good day today, but I'm speaking as a veteran, then as a Vice Secretary. Just the other day, my nephew passed away, and my aunt at the same time. So you have to excuse me, I'm a veteran. I was sitting back there, I didn't want to talk, but if I don't talk, someone's going to say something, so I'm going to represent. I have conviction of this whole issue. It's my father, his name was Frank Backbone. He's a World War II veteran, he's a Purple Heart, Bronze Star. He always put knowledge in my head to go to the Army, to help yourself, be independent. And that's the male of who we are as a nation to do. Because I can't go out and steal a horse anymore. I can't go out and count poo anymore. If I do, I go to jail. So if I'm going to bring pride to myself and my people, I have to go to the Army, the Marines, Navy, Air Force, something to make pride for myself. And I did. And growing up, you see the Clark Stocks. Their post that was huge when World War II came. I remember that. I used to see them do all the marches growing up in that era. And then when that faded out, there was nothing there for the veterans. And I've always thought, how can it help the veterans? And it has to come from the top. Meaning if we're down here, we're trying to talk up some of them people, they don't listen to us. This has a chain of command. So when Oakal administration got in, it was an opportunity. Carl Van started it, then it faded out, then we came in. Said, get a veterans office, that's what we campaigned on. So we did. We had a veterans office on Paul Littlelight. He did a great job, he built a great foundation, and then our veterans office is growing again. Paul he's going on to get a master's degree, so we picked Solomon, Marine. So we're trying to get veterans to help veterans, to bring things back to the Crow. And and at the same time, when we were campaigning and running, the pastoral committees, they helped us get where we're going. They prayed for us. They laid hands on us. They used oil, it was all good. We enjoyed it. The traditionalists helped us. Native American Church, the Sweat people. We did all of that because, when the Almighty helped us, on that day when we showed out and Chico was going, it was the Creator that helped us. All with respect, it was not the Jews. It's respected, but about it, and with that respect, it's all good. Today, the veterans, they never woke up until today. The sleeping giant has awoken. Veterans, I'm really glad today. Everything is coming up. We're believing in what we believe in. And the chain of command is very important. Self-discipline. Helping myself. All of that, I help myself because I was a veteran. So with that, I respect everybody, and as a Veterans Affairs, the oversight, everything. All my brothers, all the legislatures, the judicial, we're all here today. And it took, sitting there, I think it took a flag to bring us together, no matter what. Lateral oppression is when they put a group of people in an area and They got nothing else to fight against, then they fight each other. That's lateral oppression. To come out of lateral oppression is to heal one another. That individual has to heal and accept good things so he can start growing, and then everybody picks it up from there. That's where we're at today. This issue is bringing us together in some way. When I met the ambassador of Israel, it was a very sacred time in that office. It was unbelievable. He gave me a pin, I gave him our pin. I gave my pin to Dookie, but his Dookie couldn't be there. It's a stop. It's all of us. My language, Apsaalooke, that's a religion within itself. So today, you hear it standing here. You know, I feel like Noah's Ark. Got rain. You know, we're all come together no matter what. It's a good day to come together and come to a compromise. Our commander-in-chief had a compromise. It's not about fighting. Heck, veterans, you guys, we're here because of you guys. It's everything. It's about pride. It's about everything. So with that being said, you know, say my piece. If you want to blame me, blame me. Want to blame AJ? Blame AJ. But today, we all come together for something good for the Crow people. We got to move forward. 10 years from now, when there's no coal, it's going to be messed up. That's what we're fighting for. I want to thank you for listening to me today.
Thank you. Chairman Oak, word of inspiration. My name is John Yellowmill. I don't know if you know me or not, maybe somebody really, really know me. The Apsaalooke, okay, Bahu, Keep. I went to the military, not by force. I wasn't drafted. A veteran by choice. I enlisted in the time of war. I enlisted in war with Iraq, war with Afghanistan, against two nations, and a lot of caskets are bringing soldiers home. I wasn't a coward. I enlisted. I talk about war because I was there. I don't stand in front of you and talk about something I don't know about. I'll tell you nothing about Israel. I know, I studied about it. Israeli Special Forces, I studied about it. Because I wanted to be Special Forces. Because I am a man. I wanted to walk the man's path. I didn't want to be a politician and get money from other people. Or a preacher. Bullshit people. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be a man. I wanted to live a good life. I wanted to have that veteran preference on my resume because I wanted to live a good life. Now standing here before you, I'm a veteran and I'm proud of it. I, held up our nation's flag as long as I could. To the point that they took all of my health. Iraq and Afghanistan took my health and the U.S. Army said, you're going to have to go home now. You don't have the health to do that now. If I had a choice, I'd still be in the military right now. I served for almost 8 years. Like 7 years, 8.5 months. And, I'm not against any religion or anything. Me, I'm not afraid to admit or tell anybody, I'm a Christian, but I'm a Crow-Indian. I believe God loves us for being a Crow-Indian. I believe Jesus loves us for being a Crow-Indian. I believe that. Then, I don't know why, if you're not a veteran, then you want to act all great, then put a flag to desecrate a veteran's park. I don't know what kind of individual you are. That's just straight up wrong. If you don't have the courage to hold that flag for our nation, keep your 2 cents to yourself. You're a coward. That's how I see it. Don't parade around in front of people war bonds, and act like you're a great man. You're not man enough to hold that flag for our nation. I did it for as long as I could till it took my health. About the land buyback, we just said the root of all evil. The land buyback, what did it bring? It brought drugs and alcohol. Well, if you ask me to take that Israeli flag back to Israel, go sell your land over there. Take your drugs and alcohol with you.
Thank you, Yellow Man. Keith?
Hello, my name is Daryl King. I'm a business owner veteran, United States Marine Corps. I'm generally a quiet person. Don't get involved in that stuff. But when this happened, I know there was no intention to offend us. I was honestly offended when that flag went up there. I really was. And like many of us, we come from a long line of veterans. My family has fought since World War I, in every war. I never thought I would see war. I enlisted because I thought I was supposed to. Not that I needed to, and the war broke out. And I went. I tried to fight it. I went because I didn't want my family to go there. I have that war back here, so they didn't have to do it. As JP says, I held that flag too. We don't ask for much as veterans. We really don't. But we were willing to sacrifice everything. To everybody at home here. I felt a certain disrespect when that flag went up there in Harvard Park. That's ours. That's mine, it's yours. It's yours. It's JP's part. There's one spot for us to recognize us. Again, don't disrespect us. Because we were willing to sacrifice everything for you. I lost some friends over there. I prayed to God and I thank God I came home in one piece. And not many, there might be one or two that might think, it's just a flag up there. What's the big deal? To us it is a big deal. We fought for it. We fought for that flag. We fought for our people. And I must say this. There's a little phrase that always sticks in my head. You know, for those of us who fought for it, freedom has a flavor the protected will never know. So with that, thank you for letting me say something, and the only thing we ask is move it. I have no issue with the legislation that was passed. It sounds good and everything. My only issue is that the placement, the venue of that flag. It has its own place, but it's not there. That's all we ask, just move it. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Anyone else? Other medicine and Robert?
One time there was a wagon thrown over and said, I want that tree in the middle of the field. No, not outside. The tree is not in the field. Not any plant yet, but a park over there. The state of Montana got money for transportation. The money
that we could use it, we could put it on the roof, so people could see it. I worked there 3 years, I see a lot of white people come over and take pictures. Now, I ain't got nothing against what's going on the flat, but we need to put it over, like, the chairman said, Veterans Park is where they point to the river, and they got a sign over it. I think they should put it over, and leave the Veterans Park alone, for the veterans, their families, their sons, their daughters. So that's what I was saying, we started that, Colorado, and Carson, and we got the money to build that. Then, what Chairman said is true. We need to have compromise and then put that flag over it, leave the other one alone. The freedom that we had with the veterans. Now, again, all I'm saying is, I helped build that park. We started in Carson to go all over, let it crash, memorials, even with pamphlets, stuff like that, and we do it at everything, we enjoy it. Wow, get all over, they come by, we live on a highway, they stop, take pictures. So, again, I tell you, let's put that flag over there. Leave the veterans park alone, it's for the veterans. At least we got some. The other tribe, they really respect their veterans, they do a lot of things. Those goods and negatives, I mean, very coming up. Sometimes we had a dance. We go to Oklahoma and we had a dance for us. We each got $1,000. Here in the cold. You know how much they got? $28. Of all the people that were in that house. All the people that go crazy. Now we're getting to a point where the tribes recognize the veterans, help the veterans, the disabilities, the people that need help. We need to do a little bit. I mean, up on the hill. 79 over there, he was. We got 101 acres for veterans, cemetery. Second was there, we had housing, attorney. Went and took that place. And hey, that's ours. Somehow, some way, we got that land. Look at it now. Nothing's up there. They built all those houses, nothing. Go look at it. And the other one, the veterans home, and the other one. I think that's one of the best things that ever did up there too. So, why don't you just go ahead and take that flag, put it over there, and leave the veterans park over. That's all I have to say.
Oh, what I'd like to explain to the general is, I read the law, and in there, it specifically says Veterans Park. Therefore, a solution is to have legislative body amend that. Again, as it stands, me as the Secretary of the Crow Tribe, I stand as is where it is. I take the Secretary's hat off as a veteran. Again, like I said, the veterans were not consulted with. We had veterans in play, but overall there was no general consensus. I truly felt, and I was pretty upset about it, and I'll be real about it today, I thought it was a political ploy. The political ploy was to capture all the Christianity folks and all the veterans in one pot. That's the reality I want to share with you today. So at times I dig my heels in the ground when I see something that's not kosher with me. I'm not afraid to say it. So, next speaker. Wilbur. After the vets, then we'll have it for the public.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Taylor Wilbur. I want to thank Honorable Chairman Lookout for that compromise That's all we're asking is a compromise. I want to thank Speaker of the House Knute Oakrow, Senator Eric Bergenground, and all the executive branch and the legislative branch. Thank you for allowing me to speak on behalf of myself and the Apsaalooke veterans. When I first put this post up, yes, I was angry. Yes, I'm still young. I'm a young man. I can be impulsive. But what I fought for was this country's flag and our freedom to do what we want as a nation. There are a few of you in this facility that know what it means to sacrifice yourself for the rest, so we can have the right to speak freely, believe freely, live freely, and even fly a foreign flag on American soil, let alone on our homeland that the warriors of old fought to protect. A Gisik means to protect and to seal, to not let any enemy in our territory. This is our homeland, no one else's. Those of you who are not veterans who place this flag do not ask those who fought, what gives you the right to speak for veterans, past, present, and our future young ones that are going to go and fight? When I see this flag, I see it as a sign of disrespect because you as veterans have fought to protect what that American flag represents. We went through hardships like none other. You who believe in it, have you done anything to ensure that that flag, the Israeli flag, survival? Did you send aid? Did you send money? Did you send food? Anything besides just raising a flag? You want to be blessed without blessing it. Raising a flag will not get you where you think it will. I have brothers all over this country that I have fought alongside with to protect our flag, the American flag. I myself, I have fought to protect this Crow Nation along with all the many Apsaalooke veterans. Now, a lot of people they preach to me Genesis 12, 2 and 3. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless of thee, and I will make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curses thee. In thee shall all families of earth be blessed. This is true, because this is God's word. I believe with you. But there is a deeper revelation than what we see. And there is a deeper revelation where Israel stands with God. In my research on Israel and this flag, this I found. The Star of David, which many Christians proudly display as a symbol of their Jewish heritage, and is in fact a symbol of modern Israel, that hexagon, that star on that flag, was derived from Babylonia and actually has nothing to do with David, but was a medieval, Kabbalistic amulet believed capable of warding off demons. Now, we're not talking about the natural Israel. Natural Israel would be the government Israel today. We are not talking about Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel by God. When Jesus was rejected by his chosen people, Israel, he was sacrificed. We all know the story. Therefore, the Gentiles were saved by Calvary. Calvary would be sacrificed on the cross. Gentiles are others than the chosen people. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. Therefore, God said, be fruitful, multiply like the stars. In my research, I found Acts 7:43. Yea, ye took up the tabernacle of Moloch and the star of your god Remphan, figures which ye made to worship them, and I will carry you away beyond Babylon. Now, in Strong's 4481, I looked up Remphan. Idol worship of Israel, Moloch. That star sits on the flag of all the co-reservation. When you tell me this flag represents Christians or your religion, please tell me you are not blinded or deceived. If you want to tell me this flag should be put up for religious reasons, I have proof from the Word of God that this flag will not stand for religious reasons. So therefore, the Scripture tells me when Jesus went to save Israel, the chosen people, they rejected him. So the blessing went from them to us, the rest of the world. Spiritual Israel. The ones who are born again. So when you say bless them and thy will be blessed, we're talking about the ones God died for. In JAR 13-05 was passed in 2013, and all this document says, the Crow Tribal Executive Branch shall take care to ensure that an official flag of the State of Israel is flown at the Veterans Park in Croatia as a monument to the official policy of the Crow Tribe as provided in this Joint Action Resolution. Section 4, effective date. This Joint Action Resolution shall take effect immediately upon being duly adopted by the Crow Tribal Legislature and signed into law by the Tribal Chairman. And that happened. On the 9th day of April 2013, 2 years, 6 months, that happened. Why didn't it go up then? Did any of you want this flag to go up? Did you spend your personal money? Did you sacrifice anything for this flag? We sacrificed for that flag. Veterans of old, new veterans. When that went up, we had to ask Steve Gaines. We had to, I believe, Brian Zinke. Is that right? They paid for this flag. They're the ones that sacrificed for it. It's up because of them. We are a sovereign nation asking men from outside our nation to put up a flag. Now I know we're all Christians. We all have our own denomination. I believe the legislature have their own denomination. I have no right to ask you if you guys believe in God. I fought for that right, so you guys, I will not ask you. But if you do, in the Constitution and bylaws of the Crow Tribe of Indians, Article 5, Legislative Branch of Government, Section 9, Conflict of Interest. You put up a flag for religious reasons. Shouldn't that be a conflict of interest? Shouldn't you have abstained and say, I cannot partake in this vote because my religion, my moral obligation tells me I have to vote for it. You're not speaking for yourselves. You were voted by the people, for the people, to speak for the people, not for your personal beliefs. That is a conflict of interest. So I believe personal beliefs had a key role in this vote. All we're asking is to get it moved. That's all I wanted. I may have been impulsive. I am a young man. All young men may be a little bit crazy. I'm not wise. I'm not an old man. I'm not wise. I'm still just a young man that's fighting for what I believe in. That ground is neutral ground for any belief because veterans fought for that way of life. We put that flag up because Israel went through the same hardships as us. We didn't go through no hardship. Our veterans, our families, our ancestors went through that hardship for us to have this land. Now, they voted on the 61st session of the UN. Were they the only ones? I heard there was 3 more that voted. Where are their flags? There are ways and protocols for this flag ceremonies. There are ways and protocols for flag ceremonies. This was not done right. But if anything happens at that park, all the veterans are asked to come together and celebrate it. It's a good day. But this was done kind of just quick, spur of the moment, 2.5 years later than it was supposed to be put up. All we ask is to be placed under the Jesus is Lord sign. We fought for your right to believe. Why can't we fight for what we believe in? At the end of the session, and this day, let's not hate each other. All we're asking for is a compromise. But would you still want that flag up knowing that that star is not what it means to you? It's actually from a grandparent. Thank you.
Thank you, Rudy. Figueroa, as a veteran, would you like to say a few words? Officer Figueroa. Fitch, and then Corey.
Thank you for your homework. But here's right, that flag does not represent our fallen. That have already fallen, and the ones that are still overseas fighting for our rights. Does not represent us here on this reservation. It has nothing to say for us. To us, it is a slap in the face, a dagger in the belly, stab in the back. And I would like that the whole thing rescinded. Not giving no other country the right to fly in no part of the veteran park that represents the entire nation veterans. I move that that resolution be rescinded on behalf of the veterans and our rights to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Fitch. Senator Burton.
Thank you, Secretary, members of the body, executive and executive, legislative, CJ, everybody. Again, we go on as a person, as my beliefs. New Osbaga, you want to take the same shell, so you the schedule a whole shock up. And again, now hearing today, now I'm trying to find a resolve. And again, if I go, these things, probably, if I go and Israel lost the law, as Senator Duke, Israel lost the at again, I'm was a commercial, but show. They are the commercial today, and the museum. Traditional student. Hey, Bobbin, looks like there was a walk. What truth, religion, there's so go to tell Mao to go. Then again, got to the respect the other. Hey, was a father. Mother both the ring make money. Also, want to go to be. They are the like with beauty. Command to be. Like a family looked up. Like an echo right, echo 1 time. They say, Chopak, you pursue. Chopak, you was pursued. Noaba. Chopak was a walk of Bible. Chopak, Wabe eats a book still. And again, you veteran. This is going veteran will be Balau, veterans land, Mala, Lenipo, Mar Shaggy Mau, Hofon, Dini, Hopa, on how I can come to a compromise. How can we work together? Nuaga, it's a belief, man. Again, Lenny Buck was a walk of Bali of Lenny Buck, guys. Was he too much? Was he too much? Yes. Shouldn't be like that. And walk of Bali answers that issue soon called. We have 7 out of 10 babies being born with crank. They're addicted to crank. As a veteran, I should be standing up for that too. That I shouldn't be sitting on the side and saying, oh, it's all right. As a veteran, as a leader, as a veteran, I should say, we should do something for them. And even our elders, I'm a proud veteran. Bin a Nawaja, ala itches Chochua, Apsaalooke Chochua, ala itches Kovaleti. Baben, Balaga, Ara Isitalia, Ara Balaga, preacher Victoria. That Pastor text the horse. Church Eggspollage. Church Eggspollage, Balaga, by Kuti. Because I want them to make a decision for themselves. If they want to go through give them options. At as a veteran, I stand with the veterans. The flag. I'm looking for a resolve to work with each other, to how we can come to a compromise and how we can build, how many, maybe doctor's appointments, school hours, the last positive. And then it's all about respect. All about respect. Because at the veterans, they're going, veterans done. We didn't know about this, but yet it was posted 2 years ago. At the Nuaga Leaders Ball, Pastors Ball, leaders said, the speaker today, we want to resolve it. We want to listen to you. Bob H. was a walk by the coaching at the Anawaja. What's good for the all Apsaalooke people, veterans today, we should be all working together.
Chairman has another place to attend, so we got another 5 minutes for any more comment.
Greetings, officials, legislators, ladies and gentlemen, pastors, Nilabe Ichi, Bulan, Ilipan, Doch Babalau. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Dela, Milen Veterans, Skoda, Duchile, Ude de Kalan, Egypt Pahila, who like Sabah, Body Table. With that, I want to say, we want to voice our opinions. This situation that is before everybody today, let's take it back to the people, let's take it back to the veterans, let's take it back to individuals. Let's vote on it. I think that's the only way we're going to solve this problem. I hope.
Thank you for giving me a little time here. Well, what a wake-up call, huh? If you don't get involved in your government, something like this can happen. It's not anybody's fault. It's your own fault if you don't pay attention. It's my fault. Had I known about this, I probably would have spoke up. Okay, now it refers to the UN Declaration of Indigenous Rights. What is that? That is my right as an Apsaalooke. My right, my way of life, the way I worship, everything. That's what the UN Declaration is. It's throughout the world. Okay, now, this piece of legislation refers to that, saying that Israel supported this and voted yes on it. I'm sorry to say they didn't vote at all. They were absent. If you do some research, I do research before I talk to people. They did not vote at all. Along with the US government, New Zealand, Canada, and Australia. Why did they not vote? Because they did not want to deal with people like us. Our rights to our land, our language, our way of life. They didn't want to deal with our cultures. Israel did not want to deal with the Bedouins or whatever they're called, but I think today they are called the Palestinians. Whatever it is, they don't want to deal with them. We're in the same situation, but we don't want to compare ourselves to the Palestinians at all. That's none of our business overseas. That's how I feel about it. If you look at the news, how much damage has Israel done to people around their country as well, even to their own citizens? It's bad over there. Like I say, I blame myself for not paying attention to what legislation has done. I used to be a legislator. So anyways, like I say, I blame myself for not, had I known about it, I probably would have voiced my opinion back then and opposed this thing. The veterans. I remember when John Paul came into the chambers in 2002, Dan Oldham sponsored a legislative resolution. All he wanted was $2,000 to buy some plywood so that he could put names of service people or warriors on those as a recognition back then, and it started to grow. And I'm glad that the late Carl Van took over and got some more funding, and now we have a very beautiful place. Very beautiful. I have 2 daughters in the U.S. Army. One's going on being 20 years now. She's been over Afghanistan, Iraq 5-6 times now. I've been consulting with her about this issue. Also my other daughter. But I didn't want to say something that would disrespect them as well. So this piece of legislation, I hate to say it, but it was a political move. It was a political move using religion. If you want to do something for your religion, please spell it out and don't go under the guise of something else that didn't even happen to be true. That's what I would like to say. And then the other thing is that my right has been infringed upon. There's a blanket LR. Jesus is Lord on the Pearl Reservation. That was a proclamation. See, again, I didn't pay attention. But like I say, we all have our own beliefs. Every summer I go into Sundance and I'm pierced through a tree. I'm facing death for my people, and that's my way, and I will continue to do that. I pray for each and every one of you. Oh.
Thank you, Senator Child. And then we'll close with Rhea. Yeah, real quick, Mr. Hill we're going to continue this in session with the legislative body. I guess that date is to be announced. So then there will be a continuance.
好，那这是就对。我觉得我们不理解，爸爸是这样，你也得你妈去考察，我是这样，我的，那我也是啥意思？我的就是我自己为啥意思？那妈是这种，我发的种，我也就是把这个不这样地方造了，这样子。因为各位，外人他听过，那爸爸给说的话是啥？也没实在。那爸爸给说的，好多都是对话的。那这个我的是呢，就你话是啥？哎啥？上班我有心。不要就就，这我就那个人跑滚就那个玩意儿，我们拿去丢了，我就这就是全是本子，你要是丢了，多玩意儿拿来了。我小的去了，也是我要往上，你得带我要往上。We all have to work together to get together. I'm a fucking Marine to get together.
I think one of the elders can, you guys not be enlightened, I respect the veterans. A home up to all the veterans. We wouldn't be in this land and have the freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and it's because of the veterans. Now, you see the series on the Vietnam War. Every day we could how they fought over there and the sacrifices. And they go over, some of them willingly, not even afraid to die. And I think we have that society. The Crazy Dog Society, the Crow Tribe, that they're not afraid to die. They go all the way out to fight for our Crow people. And in Vietnam veterans today, I don't know if you see the series. Every day, people I read to the whole thing. And I have veterans. Uncle Charles D. Crane, he's in the hospital, but he was in World War II. And my Uncle Vincent goes ahead. My dad was in the Korean War, and the other uncle, Posey White Man, couldn't. And my grandmother prayed. Sarah D. Crane goes ahead 2 hours a day, every day while her sons were in the war. Even while she'd be on her knees praying for them to safely come home. So Nadia Kowal, the night before it, and when he went to D.C. and they honored him, we were eating at Golden Corral, and I told him, what do you want? You know, he wouldn't let none of his sons join the army after he came back from the war. And God brought him home safely and given him a long life, so I thank God for that. And then the other thing is, I'm a soldier for Jesus Christ. I'm a member of the Salvation Army, not the denomination, but I'm a soldier, and so I'm interested in fighting. Not the karate, to see how they fight and fearless. I just wanted to mention some things in the Jews, the natural Jews, and who hung Jesus to the cross, and so you could